So I stumbled across this video on
amazing.
YouTube about the first homeless encampment in LA ever constructed for the homeless. And so that gave me an idea, and they give some statistics on the homes. And so here's some numbers I looked up from 2018. The budget was $260 million for that year. The following year was $430 million. Then $530 million, and back down to $430 million the following year. Then you can tell that the company name is on the door of every tiny house, and with a simple Google search, you can find out how much it costs to buy one of these nice little abodes for yourself. $5,500. You can tell where this is all going, right?
Los Angeles, 39 units, 75 beds. There's 64 square feet.
So we're going over the LA homelessness math here, and it is not looking pretty. This is the 4 years that I looked up for homelessness funding. You add them together, that's $1.6 billion. The total units, I think what he said is pretty hard to hear, was 49 units, 75 beds. That is, he said, square foot each, 64 square feet. You do the multiplication, 3,100 square feet for the entire homeless encampment. The cost to buy per unit, looked it up, $5,500. This means LA paid $270,000 for the whole homeless encampment. Wow, they are so generous. This works out to be 0.02% of their total 4-year homelessness funding. Wow. That is $526,000 per square foot they paid for these tiny houses, for this homeless encampment. If you just do the inverse of the percentage, that is 1/6,100th of their total budget. And this is only over the last 4 years. I didn't bother looking up the figures for the last 20 years. So just take that number and multiply it by 4, I would say. So maybe like 1/15,000th of all of the homelessness funding they've gotten. This is $22 million per bed that LA has had and done nothing with. This is their ratio. And keep in mind, there's one bed for every 30 square feet of tiny house. Disgusting. So this is the estimated homeless population for LA, 65,000. This means that in order to solve homelessness, paying $22 million a bed as they are now, it would cost them $1.4 trillion to solve homelessness. So obviously they need to find a more efficient way to spend their budgets. There is a beautiful and heartbreaking Reason video. I'm surprised it's still on YouTube. I'm really surprised it hasn't been deleted yet. But a musician brought it upon himself with volunteer labor and his own money and their own donations to build tiny houses for $1,200 per tiny house. And there was only one bed per tiny house, unlike the government, which you have to share your tiny house with someone else. Yeah, 2 beds per fucking tiny house. That's stupid. So anyway, so compare the $22 million per bed, which this is the public sector's money management, $22 million per bed. This is the private charity's efficiency, how far your dollar goes with private charity. So you do the math for private charity, it would cost $78 million to solve homelessness in LA worth of private charity. That means with private charity, using LA's 4-year budget right here, LA could house every single homeless person in LA 21 times. Yeah, each homeless person would have 21 tiny houses. And what has LA done with that 1.6 billion? Well, they've housed 75 people instead of the private sector alternative, which would be 21 tiny houses per homeless person. Really, really despicable math. I've done a lot of disgusting and repulsive mathematics on this channel, and I think this one wins the prize for most disgusting. Good job, LA. Really proud of you guys. Better world come to fruition, as I do, then like, share, and subscribe. You can find an incredible amount of math, knowledge, and 3D renders by clicking on the channel name. And remember, we need you to help spread this vision across the internet for all to see and become familiar with. Let us build this new world together.